Hello there and welcome to Wrong Way's Columbia Cast with me, Brendan Wrongway Corrigan. Now, for those of you listening on the podcast format, for this edition, we're trialling a video version. I've trimmed back my wild beard, tidied myself up a little bit. Although some of you may have seen this wild beard as I've been co-presenting a new live program, Bogota Nights, every Thursday from 9 to 10 p.m. Colombian time in association with Canal Prensa and the Bogota Post. That show is available live, or you can listen back to previous episodes on YouTube or on Facebook on various pages, including my own Wrong Way Corrigan blog. Now, for the video version of this podcast, I wanted to get the most enthusiastic, positive, and pleasing on the eye Colombian I could find, but unfortunately, she wasn't available. So our good friend Laura Vega said she'd help us out. I jest, of course, Laura. You are top of the list. You always are. Welcome to the podcast in video format.
I'm super excited to be here with you. As always, I was the first interviewed by you as well in your Brendan Corrigan podcast. So I'm always the first one, which makes me feel like a lab rat.
Yeah.
A rat lab?
Yeah. A lab rat. Well, you're not, certainly not. You're a bit more pleasing on the eye than a lab rat.
Yeah, but I'm super happy. I'll always be happy to talk to you, even if it's in a podcast or a video cast or by phone or by WhatsApp. You are really
in many
friend of mine.
This is just a catch up of old friends, but we're just deciding podcast for the world to listen in. But
we have time now.
Yeah, exactly. Too much time. Well, you don't with everything you're doing, but we're going to come to that in a second. But of course, we did have a chat last year on my Semana podcast as well, the Columbia Cast, so people can check that out. But it almost feels like a different century now, considering that everything that's happened. But for some background, you are the founder of a travel operator which specializes in bringing foreigners to Colombia to discover all that this amazing, wonderful country has to offer. Laura, like practically everybody in the industry, though, business has ground to a halt for you. So how the heck have you coped these last few months, since March, since lockdown kicked in here?
It's been great.
Really?
It's been awesome. It's the best thing ever happened to me.
Okay, explain.
Yes, everything is stopped all of a sudden. I just finished. I had 7 groups, around 70 people that came this year for Carnival. So I was in my best time, I had a lot of groups also in December. January was busy, February was busy. There was a lot of partying, a lot of traveling, a lot of discovering, because even if I travel so much in Colombia, every time I travel, it feels like a new discover. So I was very happy, and then all of a sudden, boom, everything is closed. I had to cancel all my tours for the rest of the year. At the beginning, it was a little bit of a shock, like as well as for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But then for me, it was interesting because I started to do all the things I had on my very long to-do list. All the paperwork, doctor tests, checks, catch up with friends, answer a lot of emails and things I had put it off because I was always traveling. So I have done a lot of courses as well. So I've been studying a lot. I love to read. So I've been reading about 2-3 books per month. So I've been very busy. I'm also been doing a lot of research to create new tours. So for me, it's been a really good moment to stop, because I was running, going there, from there, and then travel there, and then here, and then all of a sudden everything got calm, and I was like, okay, but I could use this time to prepare myself, to learn more, to become a better person and a better guide and a better business person, and that's what I've been doing.
Yeah,
I guess that.
Well, I was going to say, you're saying that you were physically running, and that's, you're hyper energetic, really running around all the time. But you've replaced the physical running with almost virtual. You're in Chile in the north. Well, I'm going to say in the north of Bogota, but outside Bogota to the north. that's where you're based.
Yeah.
But virtually, like all this stuff you've been doing, and I want to come to that in a second. But first of all, can I ask, like, obviously, not probing your financial situation, but you had a little bit of savings, I take it, to be able to cope through this time.
Yes, and I think that is a little bit of a mix of things because once I have savings, and second, I own this house with my brothers, and I don't have children. I don't have really much expenses.
But you've got
So I
Dolly.
guess,
Dolly the dog is there.
yes, Dolly. I'll show you when she's around. She's
Okay.
running
Oh, she
around
ran
over
away.
there. She'll come back in a bit.
She will.
So I don't have much expenses, and also I think that being a traveler gives you like a set of mind of not needing too many things, you know. So when you are traveling, you live out of a backpack, and everything you have in your backpack is your life, your property, you know. So I have learned to really not need much. Therefore, that reduces a lot of the expenses. So yes, and I cook. I am very little person, 1.5 meters, 40 kilos. So I don't need much of anything. So I can have a little piece of food and I'm done with it. So yes, I mean, it's not good not to receive any income.
Of course.
I'd rather prefer to be receiving income, but I told myself that I'm not going to break down because I'm not having any money for some time. I'm just going to take good care from the savings I have, and I'm going to focus on what I can handle, because I cannot control the money situation at the moment, but I can control what I do with my time to maybe in the future receive even more than what I have at the moment, because I am preparing myself.
Well, and again, as I said, yeah, I want to come to all that you've been preparing and all these courses you've been doing, because you're making me feel a little bit lazy now listening to you. But just in terms of your dietary requirements, that was a good line for any prospective guy who might want to hook up with you. You'd be very cheap on a night out because you don't eat that much.
Yeah, and I get one drink and I'm drunk. So
excellent,
yeah,
wonderful.
I can be very cheap, to be honest.
Have you managed to get out much though? Because obviously, well, you're not in Bogota per se, but Bogota was locked down until about a month ago, more or less, and now we can move a little bit more. I still haven't got out of the city, but that's on the list. Have you managed to travel at all, or have you stayed put?
Well, here in Chia, it was a little bit more strict than in Bogota, because in Bogota you could get out 2 or 3 days a week, depending on the number of your ID, right?
Yeah.
Here, we could only go out one day a week. So mine was Thursdays. And it was funny because I got used to my 3-day being on Thursdays, to go to the supermarket and then just buy the basics and then just like get out of the house. And it was very funny because when that restriction ends, I still felt as my free day was on Thursdays. So I was looking forward for Thursdays. I was like, oh, but actually I can go out any day now.
And was it really strict though in Chia? Because like,
yeah,
I wrote an article on my El Tiempo blog. God, I just noticed the light on me has just changed here. But anyway, I wrote a story saying that Bogota's lockdown, it was a little bit lax. Like there were the rules, but then people could kind of, I won't say manipulate them, but you could push the boundaries anyway. But in Chia, were they quite strict? Because obviously it's smaller, so maybe easier to enforce.
Yeah, well, I mean, I took it quite serious, so I wasn't just like trying to sneak around.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that's what you had to do. No.
Like if you did it.
No, I'm not.
No.
Well, I do have a press pass, Laura, so that allowed me to go out as a journalist.
Oh, I see.
Okay, that's at work reason.
Okay.
True.
Yeah, well, I only went on Thursdays to do the shopping, and yes, like to get into the supermarket, I had to show my ID, And if I didn't show my ID, I couldn't go in and check the temperature and all that.
Yeah,
You know
all
that
easy.
I don't know if you remember, but at the beginning the temperature was
With your
in your head.
yeah.
See, I think that all those guys were feeling very like powerful temperature.
Well, the only thing is, I've noticed maybe it's because I'm not 100% human or something. But when they try and check my temperature in my palm here or in the wrist,
In your
it
what?
in the
Yeah.
wrist it doesn't work. So then I always have to go to the hand.
Hmm.
I think it's because I've got cold hands. I don't know, but it never works. But anyway, so you haven't
Yeah.
traveled at all, really, or left
No,
here, no? So any
no,
plans
not
in the next now
not
that you
yet.
can?
And yes, I really want to go to the coast, to everywhere I have, because I have been studying a lot. So there are a lot of I have a list of new places that I haven't been yet that I want to go to discover. Um, but I prefer to take care of the rest of my savings for now. And I'm also a little bit afraid. I don't want that if a second wave comes, I get stuck, locked down in a place that is not my home.
Mhm.
Here, I have a very comfortable place. I have my office. I have a small park in front of my house where I can walk with Dolly. So I prefer to be completely sure that I can go out and I'm not going to be locked down in the middle of nowhere
Okay. So
or
then,
so far from my house.
just
So
sticking
I'm
with
going to wait a little bit.
yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, maybe I can visit you. Can I do that in the next couple of weeks? Will you allow me?
Yes, sure. I have
Yeah.
all the protocolos de bioseguridad
Excellent.
in my house. So
What?
I have a thermometer. I will clean your shoes. I will disinfect you completely, and then you can come.
How many kilometers is Chia actually? Because I have a bike now, so I could probably cycle. There you go.
Oh,
Yeah.
woo! Like I would say, like well, depends on where you are, but maybe from the
What?
very top north, like 20 something.
Okay, it's doable, certainly doable. Anyway, we'll
Yeah,
discuss that
doable.
when we're not recording to everybody. But but I want to stick with the business, and then you can tell us about all these
Yeah.
wonderful courses
Okay.
you're doing.
Business.
Have you um like received any emails or people contacting you saying, "Oh, is Colombia opening up? Can we go and visit or whatever?" Or has it been ridiculously quiet?
No, it's not been quiet at all, and it's been very beautiful, to be honest, because I have had a lot of people that have been in Colombia with me on tours before, and like sending messages of how am I doing, how's it like, if I'm okay. So it's been really nice to hear from people all over the world contacting me. It's been
Okay.
very nice. And well, as I told you, I had already bookings for this year, and I had to cancel. And we still in contact with them for them to come next year. I still have a couple of tours for December that I haven't got canceled yet, but I'm just like, please, I really want to do those. I'm not sure if it's going to be possible, depending on like the freaking second wave or third
Yeah.
wave or fourth wave. We don't know how many waves we're gonna have,
Yeah.
but
Surf the waves. Yeah.
yeah.
Uh,
So depending on the coming days, that will happen or not, or will be cancelled. But
and where are they
I think that
from? So, are they from
Europe,
Europe? Okay. Okay.
mainly from Europe. But for example, there is a group of guys from the United States that they wanted to come to celebrate, like to do like a bachelor tour. Yeah.
Oh yeah, or
The,
as
the,
we'd
the,
say in Ireland anyway, a stag do. Yeah. Like before they get married.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they wanted to come in September, but we had to cancel. So we are like waiting to see when is the time that they can come. But the thing is that, I mean, mm, it would be, or at least I would feel a little bit not very happy if I spend my savings to go abroad, very far away, cross the ocean, and spend a lot of money, and then arrive and be with the face mask, not being able to go party, not being able to to go to different places or to do massive lines to be able to go into a restaurant or things like that. So I think that even though if a lot of people want to travel, a lot are kind of waiting for the best moment.
Yeah, well, actually,
where you can be free again.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I haven't left Bogota yet since we've been able to leave, and that's kind of one of the reasons is that, you know me, I like to go to a little pueblo and have a beer in a tienda and talk to the locals or whatever, and if it's kind of
One beer?
Well, just
Or
one,
the whole
just one, obviously.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
maybe two. It
Uh-huh.
depends on the evening. But no, like if it's going to be restricted and things like that. Although a friend of mine, another Irish guy, went to the Eje Cafetero with his wife and their newly born daughter. They rented a car, and he said it was wonderful. They were in Salento and some other little pueblitos in El Eje Cafetero, and he said, yeah, it was,
Like just now? Like in
yeah, they
a couple of
just
weeks
got
ago?
back last week. Yeah. So
Nice.
he said it was fine.
Yeah, I guess that this is what everybody was saying, like tourism is going to reactivate and mainly within the locals. The thing is that the locals are in my market, and I'm pretty sure that they're not the market of so many of more travel operators or travel agencies or hotels or so on. But because this is what we have at the moment, and everybody is like trying to cover that market, I rather prefer to just like stay calm until my market is allowed to travel to hit on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if there are foreigners listening now, or people from outside Colombia, I should say, wanting to come,
Come.
and they want to get in touch with you, though, just while we're mentioning it now, how do they get in touch with you? Because I know, just to mention, I'm not going to go into the details, but I know you're in a rebranding stage with the company as well at the moment. So, so how do people get in touch with you?
I'll give you my phone number.
Oh, all right, okay.
And my
Well,
email and my
yeah, well,
social media and everything.
they can contact me, I guess, via the podcast or via YouTube. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment on YouTube, and we'll put you in touch with Laura. Because, yeah, look, things will open up. I hope, as you say, fingers crossed. Who knows? Maybe early next year things pick up. Because your old boss, if I can say that, not old as in terms of age, but your ex-boss, Andy Farrington, was on my podcast, the owner of the famous
Frankie Croc.
Cranky Croc in the center of Bogota.
The best hostel in Bogota.
Exactly, and the first place I ever stayed in Bogota. But he was saying, and this was one of the earliest podcasts I did on my new podcast, my personal podcast, when we still didn't know how long this was going to last. And he said he had a contingency plan in place until July of next year. So I think that was quite prescient of Andy. He knew what was coming down the line because, like as you said, hostels are reliant on foreigners. The local market is one thing, but hostels need outsiders.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, this is this longness of this COVID, of the fact that it's so long. This is not new for us. Like since the very, very, very beginning, we had, or at least I had, a lot of notifications that
It was
kind
going
of
to be a long
like
time.
yeah, it predict that it was going to take a very long time. So I knew since the beginning. I sat on my desk and I said, I need to survive for at least a year and a half from now on.
Okay.
I need to be ready for 1 year and a half, maybe more. But so I think that maybe something similar happened to Andy. Since the very beginning, we did the math, contemplating this for a long time.
Yeah, I guess maybe some people were just hoping that it would only last a few months, but obviously, if you know the history of pandemics, that's not going to be the case. So a nice little segue then. You planned, and you're planning for perhaps maybe 2 years of very slow business, or maybe none at all. So all this extra activity you've been doing, studying every course under the sun, it seems. What have you been doing?
Well, a little bit of everything. So a little bit of something that allows me to give me more tools to be a better person and a better traveler and a better guide and a better business person and a better everything.
Okay.
So from I did a course about accounting.
Okay.
The accounting in Colombia, it's a little bit of a mess. So, and I knew something, but I always relied on my accountant for everything, and I wanted to learn more about it. And yeah, so when my accountant talked to me, I know exactly what we were talking about, and also give ideas and just try to understanding a little bit more the system.
Okay.
Mm, I did a course on creativity. It's a subject I always have liked a lot. Ways or tools to be more creative and design ideas and yeah, be more thoughtful on your ideas and create things.
Nice.
I always have like that. What else? I've been doing this course to get the certificate for a guide.
Okay.
So from a few years ago, there is a new law in Colombia that the guide must have a certificate to be able to guide tours around the country. So I've done this. I've been doing this course. It's quite intense. So it's every like 2 weekends, Saturday and Sunday from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. So pretty much all
Wow.
the weekend, and on
On a
classes. And
Sunday as
then
well, on the Lord's Day.
yes,
Wow.
yes,
That is.
and we have homeworks that are like each homework is like a thesis, so I have to read a lot, I have to investigate a lot, I have to write a lot. So I've been doing that. I also did I'm doing a course of La Javeriana, which is coaching and leadership, also because I like
Which
the
is what
subject very
leadership?
much.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
Yes, coaching and
Oh,
leadership.
coaching and leadership. Okay. Okay.
Exactly. So that's been also very interesting.
Do
Eventually,
you
like I want
sleep
to
at
grow,
all?
you know?
Yeah, I know, but do you sleep?
Yes, yes, of course. 7 hours and a half. I am
Good.
very strict, you know? This is, I think maybe this is the reason why I can do so many things because I'm super organized. So, because I'm very organized, I manage my time in a way where I can fit all the things I want and sleep 7.5 hours.
Wow. Excellent. Well, you know, as I said, I feel kind of, God, Brendan, I should be doing all of that. I mean, you mentioned reading. In fairness,
Yes.
I have, yeah, I got around to reading a few classics that I wanted to read, like Crime and Punishment, 1984 from Georgia. Yeah, just a few classics.
Okay, this is 1994 is like an awesome book. You should read it. Like it's
No, I
very
did,
interesting,
but I'm
very,
saying, yeah,
especially in these times.
yes, of course. So I was saying I use this time, so I've been doing a lot more reading than I normally would. But what have you been reading more kind of related to business, or are you reading classics and fiction, or what?
Just a mix, a little mix of of of
Everything.
of
Okay.
everything. A little bit of philosophy, a little bit of coaching, of course, a little bit of like business books, a little bit of news as well. You know, I read a lot of the news and like magazines about neuroscience and science and the universe and just
Okay.
everything that brings me knowledge. I like it.
Yeah. Excellent.
At the moment, or not at the moment, I actually just finished a book that is called Atomic Habits.
Okay.
I
Not heard
really
about it.
recommend it. Highly recommend it. It's very interesting. It's a book that like is very straightforward, teaching you how to build habits that helps you achieve all your goals and all the things that
What
you
do you
want
call it?
to achieve
Atomic habits.
in life.
Is that what it's called?
Atomic Habits. Yeah,
Okay.
Atomic Habits.
Did you read? Is
Really
that
good.
in?
It's very easy to read it. Like you read it in a week, and it's very interesting because as you read, it's something that you can apply it straight away. You know, and
Okay.
like I feel very, very motivated after I read that book.
Right.
So yeah.
And did you read that in English or is it in Spanish? I guess it's available.
No, I read it in Spanish.
Okay. Do you read in English, by the way, just out of curiosity?
Yes, yes.
You do.
I also read in English. Um, I
But anyway,
do,
okay,
but
that's one to the list.
it's not that easy to find good books
Oh, in Colombia, in English
in
now.
Colombia in English, and I'm still the old-fashioned way. I still like the old-fashioned way of having the books, like I like smell it and touch it and
I am 100% in
have it
agreement
on
with
my
you.
bed.
Yeah, but I've had to adapt, I should say, because as you said, it's difficult to get English language books here, and I do when reading is just something to relax. I can read in Spanish, but it's harder work for me. So when it's something I want to relax with, I have to read in English. So I've been getting
Hmm.
PDF versions online and things like that. But anyway, yeah, it's not ideal because I do like the real proper book. But as I said,
Hmm.
you have to improvise in these times. Final thing, Laura, and we'll wrap this up. And again, I appreciate you being our
Yeah,
guinea pig.
because
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm a
You've got
very
a
busy
class.
woman. I have to.
Exactly. I
Actually, I
probably
do have a class at 6.
I'm going to have
Yeah.
to probably send you a check in the post for taking up your time. We've got Brendan. I've all this stuff to study. We'll end on a very light note, though. How how have you been getting on in terms of? Well, none of us can really do any dating these days or anything. So, no,
What?
Dolly.
Dating. This is my dating.
Okay. Well, to be honest, she looks a lot better than your last one. I'm
Hey, he was very hot.
joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. Um,
Um,
no, Laura, I appreciate you taking the time. As you said, you've got a hectic schedule at the minute. So to give us, what was it, 20, 30 minutes? Excellent. Wonderful. And again, as we said, if people want to get in touch with you, should there be a vaccine, a successful vaccine in the next
Laura
couple of
Vega.
months? Yeah, Laura Vega will, and as I said, if people want to write, if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment. Or if you're listening on my podcast, well, you can get in touch via all the various channels at WA Corrigan on Twitter or at Wrong Way Corrigan blog on Facebook is my page. But until the next one, or maybe we'll do
When are going? When will you start the right way?
other. If you keep on going the wrong way, you eventually
Get to the okay. Hopefully.
well, hopefully, exactly. Laura Vega, thank you very much for that. That was a pleasure. Bye bye.
For me too.
Ciao, ciao.